So we've been following the PlayStation 5 stock situation here since it came out because it's been impossible to find PlayStation 5 systems, especially in stores. If you go online, generally it's going to be tough because so much traffic hits the site that those systems are gone in a couple of minutes here. But in Japan specifically, we've been following the sales charts and we've seen kind of a flat line when it comes to the overall stock that's provided. It does look like Sony is sending more and more systems to places like the US and parts of Europe as opposed to getting more stock out to Japan. And it looks like there was a restock very recently there in Japan, and chaos broke out, essentially. Absolute mayhem to the point where the police had to be called, and they even have gone as far now to ban sales to anyone they suspect to be trying to resell or scalp the PlayStation 5 system. We're going to go over that here today. Guys, enjoy these videos. Make sure the like button helps out a ton. If you're new to the Spawn Wave Plus channel, make sure you subscribe down below. We're going to go over to Video Games Chronicles, where they say a major Japanese retailer has taken action after a planned PlayStation 5 restock ended in chaos last weekend. The Yodobashi camera in Tokyo's Akihabara shopping district had promised to sell several hundred PlayStation 5 consoles via a first-come, first-served policy on Saturday. However, police were called and the whole process canceled after hundreds of consumers swamped the store, pushing staff and knocking over cash registers. And we actually have some video here of this happening. This from Dave Gibson. And I mean, like I said, you just see mayhem here as the crowd appears to be pushing forward for tickets that were being given out. So I guess what they were doing was it was first come, first serve. You show up here in the store and we'll eventually start giving out tickets, which is something that would happen on launch nights for consoles. I remember going to some of those where you'd wait in line and then eventually they'd walk around and give you a little raffle ticket. And it's like, okay, you're good. You can now go off and do whatever and then come back when we start actually handing these things out. That way they didn't have a massive crowd or line that would continue to form and you'd have people that were really frustrated. Instead, I guess they started giving out tickets. People were trying to figure out if there were enough there for everyone, and they decided to start pushing forward to try to get one of those tickets. Dave Gibson does explain the situation here from his first-hand account, saying they canceled the sale due to people being insane. They pushed so hard, even the cash registers and staff went backwards. I've never seen that kind of insanity in Japan before. People paying at the registers were pushed out of the way, cash left on trays, registers and staff pushed all the way back into the storage area. Now, keep in mind, as you're seeing this, Tokyo is still under a state of emergency due to the coronavirus. So getting this many people together in a store, all like shoulder to shoulder pushing on each other, probably not the greatest idea for this. They say now the retailer has responded by banning sales to suspected scalpers, randomizing its PS5 sales schedules, and allowing only members of its credit card plan to purchase a console. Previously, the Akihabara location was one of a few Tokyo stores that did not require a credit account to purchase high-value items, which is thought to have been an influence behind last weekend's chaotic scenes. And we can see an image here that does talk about banning or not selling to different resellers or people they suspect to be scalping, and even showing the little card there that you would be on their credit account to pick up one of the higher dollar items, which is what the PS5 would fall into. But they say the retailer says it will refuse PS5 sales to customers who have purchased a PS5 in the past or those who have purchased multiple Nintendo Switch consoles. That's right, the Switch, despite having higher stock there, whenever we see the sales week to week, it's still very, very popular and it sells out quite frequently. So yes, even the Switch is being flipped in Japan for more money, but the PS5, because of how low the stock is much, much more popular when it comes to trying to get to then resell and flip. Now, I am wondering how they will be able to pick out like who is there to technically resell a PS5. I guess if they keep showing up and they keep buying a PS5 every single day or something, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, obviously you're not playing these. You're taking them to flip and resell online or wherever. But if somebody shows up and it's like a bunch of friends, and the idea is that they don't want the PS5 necessarily, they just want to get a bunch of them together to resell it. I don't know how you stop that if 5 of them show up and it's one per customer. That's something that I would see at times when we were lining up for systems, back in the day, whether it's for like the PS3 or something. There'd be like a group of people there, and they would be even talking about how much they're going to try to flip the thing for. I saw this myself, and they had so many people there, 5 or 6 of them, they ended up leaving with like 6 PlayStation 3s because while it's one per customer, it's not like one per group technically. The interesting thing still for me with the PlayStation 5 reseller situation is there's no major release coming up from Sony until like the end of April now, and I guess a lot of this really is just like fear of missing out or just having the latest, greatest thing. but not having the big game that would then sell the PS5 to a lot of people. If like Ratchet and Clank was coming out in March or God of War was coming out in April, I'd say, okay, I mean, I kind of understand. There's Gran Turismo coming out in the next month or two, something like that. But like Returnal at the end of April is like the next game. And even after that, people are probably looking beyond at like Ratchet and Clank or Horizon, other games, not necessarily even Returnal. So unfortunately, the thing I will say about this, based on what we've heard from AMD and the ones that provide the chips for the PS5, it's sounding more and more like the PS5 or even the Xbox systems won't be readily available for retail or like just seeing it online. Oh, there's the PS5. I guess I'll go ahead and buy it for MSRP. Probably not till the second half of this year. And even then, I think it might be like, we'll say August. But remember, once we get into that, we start going into like the holiday buildup. And that's when you're going to see a lot of big releases kind of start to drop and get release dates. And then the hype continues to build up towards the holidays when then demand is just at an all-time high. And these will once again be hard to find. So I'm kind of looking at this situation. In Japan, it's a little different because they've had a couple 100,000 PS5 systems, and they might be thinking, who knows when the PlayStation 5 is going to come back? Like, this could be something that we see once a month or once every 2 months or something. Oh, a PS5 restock. So, I mean, I understand why for them in Japan, a lot of gamers there are like, well, I have to try to get this thing because I don't know when it's going to be back. But everywhere else, it's going to be tough. I would say, now that I'm thinking about it, it might be January or February of 2022 before you're able to walk in and reliably find a PS5 in stores. But let me know what you guys think about this situation down below. Certainly has nothing to do with the overall demand in Japan for the PS5 as to why the sales are down, as some people were wondering. Nope, it really does look like it is a supply issue, as once they get some PS5s in stock, you see what happens. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.